You have a plan, a real one, not a vague wish or a passing fantasy, but a detailed, fully formed vision of exactly what your life is supposed to look like. You know what you want to build, you know what you want to become, and you have known for a long time. You are also still in bed. This is not a joke about laziness. What is happening inside your head is one of the most fascinating and least understood psychological phenomena in behavioral science. And it starts not with weakness, but with something that looks almost exactly like genius. You are what researchers call the ambitious lazy, and you are far more common than anyone admits. In 2012, psychologist Gabriele Oettingen at New York University published results from a decade-long research program that quietly upended everything the self-help industry had built its empire on. Her findings were not what anyone expected. People who fantasized most vividly about their desired future consistently achieved less of it. Not slightly less, significantly less. The clearer the mental image of success, the lower the motivation to actually pursue it. The brain, when presented with a richly imagined future, responds as if that future has already partially arrived. Dopamine releases, tension drops, the drive pushing you toward the goal quietly deflates because some ancient part of your nervous system has already logged the reward. Your ambition is not fueling your action, it is replacing it. But here is what makes the ambitious lazy mind different from simple procrastination. The person who avoids work out of low aspiration has made a kind of peace with the gap between where they are and where they want to be. You have not made peace with anything. The gap tortures you. You think about it constantly. You lie awake rehearsing the version of your life that has not happened yet. And then you do not move. Psychologist Neil Fiore, author of The Now Habit, identified this pattern in the 1980s. His research returned the same profile every time. High intelligence, identity tightly tied to the outcome, and a terror of the attempt so deep it never surfaces as fear. It surfaces as tiredness, as distraction, as the sudden urgent need to reorganize your desk before you begin. Fiore called it productive procrastination. The ambitious, lazy person is never doing nothing. They are always doing something, just never the thing. Because for this mind, the dream is safe, the attempt is not. As long as you have not tried, you cannot have failed. Your potential exists in a perfect, untested state. The moment you begin, that changes. You become someone with results, and results can be measured, and measurements can disappoint. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck spent 30 years mapping this exact terror. Her research on fixed versus growth mindsets found that people who believed their talent was a fixed quantity were dramatically more likely to avoid challenges and interpret struggle as proof of inadequacy. They were not avoiding work. They were protecting their identity. The ambitious, lazy person does not think they are lazy. They think they are waiting for the right moment, for the right conditions, for the version of themselves that is finally ready. And because that version never arrives, the waiting becomes the life. But the science takes a turn nobody talks about honestly. The ambitious, lazy mind is not broken. Research from the University of Florida, led by psychologist Todd Kashdan, found that people with a chronic awareness of the gap between who they are and who they could be score significantly higher on measures of creative thinking and long-term planning. Your restlessness is not failure, it is range. Oettingen's later research offered the most practical answer, a technique she called WOOP, wish, outcome, obstacle, plan. Visualization paired immediately with a ruthless examination of the specific internal obstacle standing between you and the first move. Because for the ambitious, lazy mind, the obstacle is almost never practical. It is the moment the work stops feeling like a rehearsal and starts feeling real. The research points to one intervention above all others. Not discipline, not motivation. Action before readiness. The first step taken not when you feel prepared, but precisely because you do not. The feeling of readiness is a trap. It is the brain's most elegant stalling mechanism, dressed up as wisdom. You're not waiting until you are ready. You're waiting until the dream feels safe enough to risk, and it never will. The most dangerous mind on earth is not the one with no ambition. It is the one with enormous ambition and a nervous system so invested in protecting that potential that it will spend a lifetime keeping it perfectly, painfully intact. You already know what you want to build. The question was never whether you were capable. It was always whether you were willing to find out. You're still in bed, but now you know why.